All right, welcome to Menace and the Monk. It gives me immense pleasure making his debut on Menace and the Monk is Shubham. Shubham, as you know, we mentioned in our tweet, is a huge Liverpool fan, and may gracing us for the second time is also Akash, um, a Leicester fan, a long-suffering Brendan Rodgers. Like we will not get you started on Brendan Rodgers, Akash. But let's get started with the stream. Are the teams out? I think the teams would be out. Let me just share the screen. But before we start, Shubham, welcome to the show, man. Akash, welcome here.
Yes, same.
Thank you so much.
All right, so let's start with the Liverpool team and let's hear your quick thoughts. By the way, guys, if anybody has any questions, anything that you want to discuss, ask, just put that up in the comment section. We'll pick it up and then we'll talk about it. Uh, the man whose shirt I'm wearing gets his first start. So let me just share the screen and we will talk about a little bit about that. All right. Shubham, happy with the team?
Yeah. Expected unexpected lines. I did expected Elliot to start, but
Mhm.
anyways, I don't think Klopp is risking him enough. Is gonna risk him, to play him for like 60, 70 minutes, right on
Right.
the go. So that's why maybe that is why he's taken the decision to start Jones. And Jones has been good, like Crystal Palace game also. So he was very good. So
Mhm.
I'm happy with the team. Like there's nothing unexpected into it. So great.
Mhm. And Shubham, before we move on to the Leicester City lineup, one question before that. I expected Keita to start this one, but he doesn't. Are you surprised by that?
Like, I mean, going ahead, I think the best three midfield should be of Thiago, Keita, and Fabinho. And
Hmm.
I mean, I am not surprised because I don't know, with this Klopp is going to rotate one of Thiago, Keita, and Jones, one of Thiago and Keita on the right side, and Henderson,
Yeah.
Elliott on the left. So maybe ये वाला नहीं start किया, next करेगा. So I still haven't lost hope on Keita. I think he
You
will fire.
haven't. Okay. Akash, let's quickly move to the Leicester City lineup. If you can see it on my screen, can you see it on my screen?
No, I
No,
have
not
it
yet.
though. I
Okay.
have the
So
lineup
let me
with
just
me,
let me
so
let me
not
just.
an issue.
Oh damn! No wonder. Let me just share the screen. So the Leicester City lineup is Peter
Hmm.
Schmeichel, Justin, Amarte,
Casper
and
Schmeichel. I wish it was Peter Schmeichel.
sorry, I said Peter. See, this is how you get to know. This is how you get to know you're talking to someone who's old, right? मतलब
Ghost of
दिमाग में पहले
Vikas.
पीटर स्माइकल ही आया. Right. So then you have your midfield of Albrighton, Dewsbury Hall, and Sumare, Madison. Are you happy
Hmm.
with this lineup?
Let's see. Can't really complain. Albrighton is though a surprise for me, but rest are okay. I think it's the best we can get at the moment. Some
Mhm.
players have been dropped rightfully. I think Sonchu has not earned anything in favor of the manager to get himself starting for this one. So I'm just content with it. Not too optimistic, not too happy, but yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about what's going on with each of the teams. Shubham, I'll come to you first. Um, Manchester City won last night 2-0 against Brentford, right? We lost to Leicester last time we played these guys, and it was, I think, the worst performance this season.
Absolutely.
What are you expecting today?
I think I am so glad that this is not the first game right after the international break, because we saw the first half versus Cardiff City. It was
Mhm.
actually on par with the game that we played on versus Leicester last time. Like,
Really?
but right today, what I'm expecting is Anfield and all guns blazing Liverpool with and extra impetus for Diaz to go ahead
Mm.
and make a name for himself in front of the co-op. So I think today is going to be very straightforward. The Liverpool of the past and the Liverpool of the present. High press, Klopp's Gegan press, everything coming into play, and
Hmm.
easy. I want to say easy win for Liverpool, but then when has Liverpool ever done things easy for us?
Manas has joined in and asked, lineup kya hai? Just log in. Manas, so we have Allison, Trent, Van Dijk, Matip, Robbo. The midfield is Thiago, Fabinho, and
Jones.
Curtis Jones, and the front line is basically Jota, Diaz, and Firmino. But coming to you, Akash, yeah, what is your view about this game now? I don't want to I mean I don't mean to twist the knife and talk about the Nottingham Forest result here, but you guys are coming off of a rather depressing result and a
Mhm.
embarrassing one for Brendan Rodgers and Leicester. How confident are you about this one?
Confident doesn't resonate in this kind of games, high magnitude. I don't expect to win against Manchester City, Manchester United, or a team like Liverpool or Chelsea in
Hmm.
that regard. But you can never say never because we have done it. We have defeated Liverpool twice. Last time when it was without the crowd, Ozan Kabak just committed a mistake, and then we capitalized and turned the game on its head in a
Hmm.
short amount of time. And in the last time, we just were lucky. I feel that we are extremely lucky because Liverpool were constantly barraging our defense line, but somehow we kept on to a clean sheet, and that saw us through. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if we come out after such a shambolic performance by salvaging something out of this, but it is highly unlikely that we'll gather something out of this.
Hmm. Okay, let me ask you this, Akash. If Leicester, if it's a bad defeat for Leicester, although I
Hmm.
think this game again will be not like the Nottingham Forest game. Do you
Hmm.
think this is the end of the road for Brendan Rodgers?
I wish it was, but apparently the back room is not too not too heartbroken on what the things Brendan Rodgers has been saying or doing. Rather,
Hmm.
he is the man to lead Leicester's transition period. We'll see a summer rebuild, a massive summer rebuild. Players such as Sonchu, Telemans, they can leave for a good amount of price. Even Danny Ward, who is a Welsh international, can gather us some funds. And I think that is
Hmm.
the right decision because this team has had it too easy. They are not too disciplined. I think Brendan Rodgers is definitely not the right man for the job. But again, replacing him with anybody else, why would XYZ would like to come to our club? What benefits does he see? Because we are not qualifying for European spots as we did last year. So if a change
Hmm.
was needed, it was during the middle of the season when there is some opportunity to pick up the points. But when it's not happening, you have to be just patient and trust that Brendan is going to lead somewhere. But I have been very disappointed in Brendan Rodgers and the team overall because right after the Nottingham game, Hamza Chaudhary, Danny Ward, and James Justin, three of the players who participated in that game were out partying till 5 a.m. in the morning, and that's a very unusual sight for any fans, regardless wherever you stay. It was disappointing to see that, and they just made out a statement that the video was apparently not of that day. It was recorded previously. I don't know how many of you post stories, video stories that is not of the same day, but they did, and Brendan Rodgers apparently trusts them, but still, I mean, he will play a massive part in the rebuilding process. So let's see where it heads off. I don't have much expectation from him, but it is what it is again. Same pattern.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, Shubham, before coming to you guys, by the way, this is Menace and the Monk. We try to do heartfelt Liverpool content. So, if you guys are new here, please make sure that you subscribe. That really helps us. And if you are coming here again, I mean, hitting the like button just helps us with the YouTube algorithm. We are just, a YouTube channel, fan based, and we are just looking to get to 1 million subscribers as soon as possible. No, that's not the aim. We are just looking to grow the community. So one like, a subscribe would be absolutely brilliant. And by the way, this is the new Luis Diaz t-shirt, so in case you guys are interested, just let us know. Now coming to you, Shubham, and we sort of touched upon this issue about Naby Keita not starting, and Suyash will talk about it. Um, did you expect Salah to start today, Shubham? And given the fact that it has been said in the media that he's this angry guy, not angry in a like a aggressive way, but he seeks retribution for the Afcon loss.
I think I didn't expect Salah to start. I expected him. I still expect him to come off the bench and play like 10, 20 minutes tops. Like I just there was just 10% expectation of Salah starting,
Hmm.
and there was the same amount of expectation of even Naby Keita starting, because
Right.
I don't know, for some reason Klopp does not like a midfield three of Firmino, Thiago, and Keita. But this is what the LFC Twitter wet dream, like,
Yeah.
so जिसको भी देखता है वो मतलब पागल हो जाता है. But for some reason, I don't think Jones over Keita is a bad decision at all. I've been really impressed by
I agree.
Jones here. Uh, we can debate about Keita not starting all day long, but I think Jones, Klopp रोज देखता होगा ट्रेनिंग में, और I think Jones has earned his place in the starting 11. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about it. But on the same time, at the same time, I think Naby Keita also deserves like more game time. Like we all agree on that also. So it will always be, to be very diplomatic, कि यार ये तो होता रहेगा. But I'm not very surprised on Keita not starting. Jones has earned, and I really look forward to this midfield three. And मतलब Thiago है तो आधा काम वैसे ही आसान होना चाहिए. For some reason, Thiago in team
Hopefully.
is very reassuring for me. Like हेंडरसन होता है तो मेरे को ये लगता है कि उधर से गोल पड़ सकता है एक दो, बट थियागो दो चार चैलेंज मार देगा तो सामने वाला वैसे ही डर जाता है कि यार क्या ही खेलो इसके साथ, रहने देते हैं.
Hopefully. And yeah, so Naby Keita, by the way, he turned 27 yesterday. कल उसका birthday था. So this could have been a nice birthday gift for him to a start, but that's not what he's gotten. Instead, a place on the bench. But moving on from Naby Keita, what are you expecting from Luis Diaz? Akash, this question I'll come to you first. Did you watch the game against Cardiff City? Did you watch at
I
least
did,
some
I
YouTube?
did, I did,
What are you
I
expecting
did.
from Luis? Is that a player that
Very,
worries you?
it definitely does, because he's
Hmm.
hungry for that Sadio Mane position. I think he will be putting himself into the equation in the mind of Jurgen Klopp, that he utilizes him more when Sadio Mane is, let's say, not performing for 3 to 4 games. And
Right.
he's in contention. Obviously, this whole Liverpool team, you have every player's backup into a hungry youngster, and that what makes it such a beautiful and offensive side to watch. I saw the game and wasn't expecting him to make a quick contribution like that to Takumi Minamino. But well, Jota is claiming that he helped in that assist, so I am not going to put too much pressure on that. But yeah, he has been an exciting prospect for Porto, and that's a beautiful addition that you guys got, considering the amount of strict transferring policy that you withheld with yourself in the January transfer window. I was surprised that you were spending so much of pocket and then going for the Fulham player, but hopefully
Yeah.
it will happen soon. But Fulham is again an exciting squad. I follow them regularly. I have to write match reports, prediction also for them. But I think it is the replacements. How many less players you get? I think there will be very good players who will fit right into the Jurgen Klopp system, and he has the urge to develop youngsters into stars of tomorrow. Very mediocre players, you can feed him very mediocre players, and he can get the best out of them. So fitting right into the system, I think the Colombian will do greatly, and he is a player. He scares me for tonight. He will be very impressive, I think, in his first Premier League debut.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, Shubham. So, AJ, by the way, yes, we are absolutely excited for Diaz debut. Akash, I think if it was not Leicester, he seems pretty excited about Luis Diaz as well. But
Yeah,
Shubham, यार क्या लगता है मतलब what are you expecting from Luis Diaz today?
I'll be very honest, वो जो साडियो माना का आर्सेनल वाला गोल था ना, which
Hmm.
announced him in the PL like for Liverpool, I'm expecting some of that, like ऐसा कुछ होना चाहिए, because and one of the reasons is like Leicester's backline is very shaky for whatever I've
Okay.
seen this year. Uh, थोक के गोल खाए उन्होंने, so like it's like they're on the top 10 goals to be conceded this season. So and Luis Diaz will do. I am expecting fireworks, to be very honest. एक goal एक या assist कुछ तो कुछ ना दे के जाएगा वो, and I'm expecting a very good plus because it is Anfield. So my expectations are a little bit higher. I know it's very unfair कि दूसरा मैच है, मैं इसमें कुछ expect कर रहा हूँ, but yeah, the 10-20 minutes I saw him versus Cardiff was
Yeah.
like very very it announced him like, मतलब जो Van Dijk
Hmm.
वाला debut था obviously वैसा नहीं था, लेकिन
Hmm.
for any for Klopp to put any player right after buying him, it shows a
Hmm.
statement. Yeah, he trusts him completely. उसने फबीनो के साथ नहीं किया, केटा के साथ नहीं किया, इवन मिनामिनो को भी थोड़ा टाइम लगा था आने में, पर ठीक है मिनामिनो अलग था.
Hmm.
But every Klopp player except for like Van Dijk and Allison, सबको टाइम
Yeah.
दिया है, लेकिन अब डियाज को नहीं दिया. So he expects things from him, and I think even Klopp would be expecting कुछ तो करके जाएगा. And I think Diaz would be the one to make way for Salah today, like
Um.
substitution.
Yeah. Perhaps. Perhaps. Yeah. And talking about Leicester City a little bit, Lookman and Daka. Now, Lookman was obviously the guy who scored against us. Do you is and there's James Madison as well. Do
Hmm.
you are you worried about any Leicester players? I'll come to you, Shubham, first, and then I'll talk about the Leicester lineup with Akash.
So
Are there
I
any
think
Leicester players that worry you?
I think obviously Dhaka has been in a very good form. FPL shout, I was thinking about him getting into in my FPL team. So yes, Dhaka is a very impactful player, and in the absence of Vardy, there's an extra responsibility on his shoulders, and these are the kind of players who like to take responsibilities in the absence of
Yeah.
a single player, right? So Daka is the one, but other than that, I don't think I'm too worried of any Leicester players. Matlab, there's no Salah in their team or something like that. Of course, if Vardy was there in the starting lineup, I would have been more worried because for some reason he just likes scoring against us. So because it's not there, so I am not particularly worried. But yeah, it's a team of very talented individuals. I won't say this thing about the backline per se, but yeah,
Mhm.
midfield and front three are decent enough to start for any top 6 team, any top 8 team at least. Everyone.
Fair enough. Akash, will Leicester go for it? Do you think there will be an aggressive style of play from Leicester, or do you think Brendan Rodgers will try to not lose the game and perhaps nick one on the counter?
Hard to say. I do see some players pushing to really make a statement because they were omitted from the Nottingham game, especially Kylian Dewsbury Hall, who has been rated highly by us, who has been following the player since his loan spell, academy boy. I think that was a particularly flabbergasting decision to not start him despite being a Leicester born and bred player in the Nottingham
Hmm.
Forest match. He is very aggressive. I think Premier League or somebody tweeted it out that comparing directly Kylian Dewsbury Hall versus Thiago, I think in terms of experience that is just absurd. But in some of the aspects of the statistics, he has matched and done better than Thiago. So he is an underdog in that regard. I think great things can be expected in a match like this when you don't really see him as a threat, and it can hurt you obviously. Other than that, I think the whole system has been implemented today in terms of makeshifts, because Ademola Lookman is an impressive player. He has done forward runs throughout this season, but apparently Brendan Rodgers doesn't let him play at his comfortable position, which is the wing part of where Harvey Barnes plays, and he has always been utilized in the other flank or in the attacking midfielder zone. and it really doesn't complement his styles. But then again, you see him produce some goals, which is due to his calamity or whatever you can call it. But
Hmm.
playing in a disorganized fashion could hurt us today. Again, you see NDD in the back line paired up with Daniel Amarte. Amarte, right after coming back from AFCON, suffering in a humiliating fashion, getting knocked out with Ghana against
Hmm.
Comoros Islands, was a very disappointing sight to see. But after coming back into the squad, he was good in the first half of the season. But in the last game, I think it was against Tottenham, last to last game, yeah, he didn't really play all that well, and that backline worries me because NDD is very uncomfortable. He's twitching a bit when carrying on the responsibility in the backline. We don't have centre backs, so that's the problem. Amarte was not brought into the squad to play as a centre back, and both of them are not centre backs. So I see some goals coming from Liverpool. Michael Owen predicted it to be 3-1. I think we can salvage something out of this, but definitely that is not the 3 points or even a single point that we're looking for.
Well, moving on from that to another player who is also making a comeback into this team after a long time, Shubham, Thiago. How excited are you to see how? And Manas is also asking that question. How excited are we about Thiago?
So personally, very excited, but it's
Yeah.
very sad to not see Thiago day in and day out. I don't know क्या खाता है या क्या कैसे चलता है वो उसको wrapped in a cocoon and just ऐसे ऐसे करके ले जाना चाहिए उसको. But yeah, as I told you before also, Thiago होता है तो एक reassurance आता है मेरे को midfield में, and yeah, people can have bad games, but whenever Thiago is even playing bad, no, it still looks very elegantly playing bad very elegantly. Like when Henderson fails, वो सब कुछ दिखता रहता है सामने से. But Thiago, when he plays not that great, it still looks good. However, it will be a challenge because सामने डियाज और जोटा, आई डोंट नो लिंक अप कितना अच्छा हो पाएगा, बट अगेन बढ़िया लग रहा है मेरे को तो. थियागो है, आई एम वेरी एक्साइटेड विद थियागो, एंड एज वी नो थियागो और फेबिनो जब जब आए हैं टीम में, सो इस सीजन वी हैव नॉट लॉस्ट. सो
Yeah.
great expectations from him, but again थोड़ा बस इंजर्ड ना हो हमारा भाई.
Yeah, Thiago ke बारे में, I mean, one opinion that I have personally is obviously, there is zero doubting, his quality. I just feel that, whatever we achieve this season, yes, we have signed Diaz. Yes, Salah has scored 16 goals in the Premier League. Mane is coming back, with a completely different mentality, hopefully. Um, I think the linchpin is still going to be Thiago, especially in the Champions League. We really, really need to hope that he doesn't get injured and we have to protect Thiago from injury. I think he's going to be really, 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 really important for our
I just
campaign.
I just want to add, if we achieve things, I mean, ठीक है, Thiago linchpin है, but we should not even forget Allison. Day in and day out, man just makes saves like केक बनाता है वो सेव का. ठीक है, कर लिया, like it's
Absolutely.
the
I
bare
mean,
minimum.
see, that's why we paid the big bucks. I mean, 65
Right.
million. So, I mean, obviously, but in terms of midfield, I would say that Thiago is absolutely important. But
Absolutely.
coming to you, Akash, now the Liverpool front three, uh, Jota, Diaz, Firmino. And by the way, we have not spoken about Firmino at all, who happens to be, one of my favorite players. I think this game, I'm a little surprised that Firmino has started, considering he played 90 minutes against Cardiff as well. So
Hmm.
it's a little surprising to me. But Akash, matlab, do you think which of these three players worries you the most in terms of a from a Leicester perspective? Is it Jota? Do you think, and he's very good
It
at
is.
headers? Do
It
you
is Jota. It is Jota because Jota has been a very Very, what to say, underrated player, if that is the right context, because this team has stars. And in the front line, what Jota has been done is going under the radar for a long time. Even when he was in the past Premier League side, he did those stuffs to get noticed by Liverpool. And he is a player who is, gets on your nerves as opponents. And whatever the things he does, even in the cup match, he did some things that you really hated him for that moment, but you have to admire the beauty that he possesses. And that's why he really scares me. And talking about Firmino, I think he Firmino is playing this game as an mainly as an orchestrator, because surely they are going to exploit the gaps that exist between the wing backs and the center back. So you have two players who can make those runs. Firmino dropping back, collecting the ball from midfield. As you said, Luis Diaz is a new asset to Liverpool. He might not be well adapted to those systems, the counter-attacking plays, the set plays, everything. So I think Firmino needs to work as an orchestrator to carry forwards the ball and really create an offensive outset and cause havoc for our backline.
Well, absolutely. But Shubham, one player that also has a good record against us, and we have not spoken about him, James Madison.
Madison.
Now, yeah, now James Madison starts. Last time, of course, he came to Anfield. He scored a super goal. Um,
Right.
yeah. So, as a Liverpool fan, are we focusing too much on Patson Daka and
Lookman.
and not looking at James Madison, who can be the most threatening out of the entire Leicester team?
I mean, James Madison is a very blow hot, blow cold kind of a player, right? On his day, he can absolutely demolish our team.
Hmm.
But I mean, I've seen Madison working well with I mean, I'm not. I mean, Akash can answer this much better. But whenever I've seen James Madison, is worked well with Harvey Barnes and or either Yuri Tillmans. Both of them are not in this midfield right now today. I think one is Sumare and one is Drewsbury Hall. And personally, Drewsbury Hall is very like I've seen him in a couple of championship games and also. Versus a cup games Leicester I was watching, and I like him, but still has long way to go, to match Harvey Barnes' standards, especially from the last season. And I mean, I don't know much about Sumare, so I'm not too worried about James Madison. वो दो चार वो डी के बाहर से दो लॉन्ग रेंज शॉट मारेगा तो मारेगा, but other than that I'm not too worried about Madison, to be very honest.
Akash, do you agree with that assessment? Do you think he is a blow hot, blow cold kind of a player, James Madison?
Absolutely, and that's exactly what he will do. He will shoot out of the box, expecting that the ball will curl into the back of the net. Because whenever that happens, we admire the beauty of James Madison, but most of the times it doesn't, and it goes again under the flow. Mm, so Dhaka is an interesting one for me in this particular contest, because Dhaka doesn't always performs when he has a partner to him, but today he doesn't. And we are playing a front three system like you guys. So James Madison is going to work again as our orchestrator. But what scares me is that we'll try often to catch you guys in the counter attack, and
Hmm.
9 out of 10 times it won't happen the way Madison or somebody will have imagined the pass to go forwards. But Daka's pace is a vital factor for us in this kind of game, because he has a thundering pace. And if he gets one delivery correct, he's a deadly finisher. Because I have followed all their games this season, and there is very little instances where he has missed when he has received a comfortable pass. So he's an excellent finisher, and that can cause trouble, because Madison will, I'm sure he will drop back. He will not obviously going to make those runs, because he tends to gets fouled often. So I think what he will try to do is fetch the ball to the forward line, and then try
Hmm.
to get men in the box, and then maybe somebody passes it to Madison. We have seen that also happen, because we have seen the Leicester front line be selfless some many times. And that can help us, because if you work as a team and not as individuals in this kind of a match, when the odds are highly stacked against you, I think the teamwork is essential and the key to really gather even something as unmotivating as a draw.
Hmm.
So every game from now to the end will be an assessment for Brendan Rodgers. Not only that, but earning 3 points in any game. I don't think winning only against Liverpool will give us the boost. What's the point? Because you're going to lose the next game against West Ham. 3 points are 3 points. Get it anyway in any shape or form. I want to see a clean game, no VR shenanigans, but I do fancy our chances by 30%, but not more than that. So let's see.
Okay. Now, talking a little bit about Liverpool and Shubham. By the way, before we do that, guys, anybody who's here, please make sure that you like the video. If you're new here, please share it with your friends. The more, the merrier. And if you've not subscribed to the Menace and the Monk yet, that would be absolutely brilliant. Uh, Now, coming to one big question, Shubham, can we catch Manchester City? Is it possible?
मतलब सपने देखने में बुराई तो नहीं है.
So, does that mean no?
Uh, I won't say no, as in I just cannot see City losing to any team. Like the only team I see it losing to is us. Like after recharged Mane and our best 11 comes in, and then I can absolutely say we can beat them and with confidence. But other than that, they're Manchester City. Like they're not losing, and even if they lose to us, and we win our game in hand and win today's game, we'll still be 3 points behind, and those 3 points are the crucial ones. I don't see any team beating them. uh, they're just too good at this moment. And again, my hopes are always very high. I am a very optimistic person. I don't give up at the till the last game, the last minute has gone. As we know, the Brighton header uh, from 2 years ago. So
Absolutely.
I don't give up. But
West Brom.
yeah. So but it's very tough to see that. But the good part is we are still alive in all the four competitions, and
Mhm.
we have a squad which can win at least a treble, if not a quadruple. Again, सपने देखने में कोई बुराई तो है नहीं. So, but I really fancy my chances in the Champions League as well. I don't see any team except for City, and City are, I
Mhm.
don't know, not that great in Champions League. So fancy my chances in Champions League, other two trophies also. Premier League, like 10%, 20%, yeah, we can. But majority and the rational part of my brain is always like, nah, not gonna happen.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Akash. Now, Shubham बोल रहा है कि Manchester City, he doesn't see them dropping points against anybody. But
Hmm.
yet, last month, City dropped points against Southampton. Right?
Hmm.
Do you think, as a neutral, there is still a chance that this title race could still be alive, or you think City have pulled way too far ahead?
Frankly, I don't see it. Too many points
Hmm.
are differentiating the two sides, and title race is sort of dead at this point because
Hmm.
we know City will face occasional hiccups, but to catch up to them, you have to prevent yourself from hiccuping, and that is the
Yeah.
real ultimate challenge. Consistency is very difficult to establish in the Premier League for 2 3 months. We have seen many teams fail
True.
that, and that is why Manchester City's 100-pointer season is considered one of the greatest achievement, even more so debatably than the Invincibles. So yeah, catching up to them is absurd at this point for me as a rational thinker, but you can always get them in the Champions League.
Hmm. All right, guys. We'll close this stream in the next 5 minutes. But before we do that, and before we come to the final two questions, um, Akash, I know where you stand on Brendan Rodgers, and let me ask you this completely hypothetical question. Um, Pick one scenario.
Hmm.
Um, Leicester lose badly today, and Brendan Rodgers gets the sack, and you get an exciting new manager. Let's say Graham Potter or whoever your choice is. Even hypothetically speaking, even Ten Hag, uh, or 3 points against Liverpool today. What would be your pick?
Manager change,
Manager change.
of course. Yeah.
All right, all right,
Bre-
gentlemen. So last,
again, that is the problem. Brendan Rodgers against Liverpool, he performs brilliantly. With other teams, he doesn't. So आज भी वही होगा. अल्लाह मेहरबान तो ब्रेंडन रॉजर्स पहलवान.
ओके चलो तुम ब्रेंडन रॉजर्स को गधा बोल रहे हो, कोई बात नहीं. Anyway, gentlemen, last question. Shubham, actually, Akash, let's start with you. Predictions, and then we'll close this because people have to get into their pre-match rituals and everybody. I certainly have to. Predictions.
3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 to Liverpool. You're that underconfident in your team?
It's Anfield. I'm not too confident against playing teams at those particular venues where audience is like crazy and our team is not at the right state of mind. So even one goal for us would be a big achievement in Anfield. So yeah,
Mhm. And who do you see scoring that goal? Pat Sandaka?
probably yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Shubham, for you?
I'm going for a 3-0. I don't see Leicester scoring, to be very honest. 3-0. And I think Diaz one goal from one of our defenders, and one goal from either of Jota or Firmino.
All right. Wow. So, there is a prediction about Luis Diaz scoring on his debut. Let's see what happens. It is a huge game. I would just like to say in closing that, this is a huge game for Liverpool as it is for Leicester. Leicester, of course, looking to come back from, that humiliating defeat against Forest. For us, like we discussed a while back, it is it's a very pie in the sky kind of a situation with Manchester City being who they are. But we
Hmm.
have to be ready, and the only way we be ready for something like that is if we um, continue to play and win all the games that are in front of us. So with that, thank you so much, gentlemen. Whoever has joined in, thank you so much for joining in so late. Let's enjoy the game, and please make sure that you like the video. You subscribe to Menace and the Monk. That is going to be absolutely brilliant for us. Cheers. We will continue to bring more content to you, Liverpool related, and we love to collaborate. So if any of you want to come on, any if you want to talk about anything, just let us know. Cheers and bye bye.
Bye.